What's up guys, welcome back to today's video. Tonight is night number 1 of the Summer Thunder Sprint series down here at the Cottage Speedway. The Summer Thunder Sprint series is a Washington-based 360 sprint car series that runs at Elma, Yakima, and Skagit. Now this is the one time of the year when they come across the Oregon border down here to Cottage Grove. We have 2360 sprint cars here in the pit area, and then also tonight we have the IMCA Modifieds. They just got done doing the track prep. Last year we wanted to come to this race, but if you remember, my dad had his knee problems with the surgery and all, so we had to skip out on it. But you guys know the drill. We have hot laps, qualifying, heat race, top 6 go to a redraw, and the rest to the A main event. I don't think we'll have a B tonight, but I'm just pumped to get out on the racetrack here in the 360. These last few races were limited races, so now we're getting that extra 150 horsepower. Let's get the night started. First thing up is going to be mud pack, then hot laps, and into qualifying.
Quick, 11. Hunter Stanley. Construction. First lap 11:28.7. No, he will not.
Qualifying is over for me. I went out pretty early here with the Summer Thunder Sprints. The track is going to get a little bit better. It still had some slime through the middle, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 you could run a little bit lower, which is unfortunate because it means the track's going to get a little bit better and you're going to be able to come off a little bit lower off of 4 and the time should get faster. We were good after 6 cars. We were second. I think the next guy bumped me down, but we'll just have to see where we end up, but we did our job for what track we had. Heat race is up next. So we ended up going 7th quick, which means we're for the most part gonna be in the redraw later tonight. We just have to get through the heat race. I believe we have to finish in the top 4 of the top 6. But we start front row outside, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. The track's fairly hooked up, so it's tough to pass. And my car feels really, really good. I think if we would've went out a little bit later, we could have had a chance at quick time. But the 18T is ready to go. Little dirty. Heat race is up next. Pro racing tip in the summer, always keep a fan in your race trailer. Started outside pole, got the jump, and led every single lap. My car was awesome. I still have a little bit to work on hooked up racetracks. I struggle a little bit more on hooked up than slick, but the track's pretty good right now. It just has a lot of grip, and it's a little rough in the middle, not much, but I can just feel my tires grab and go. I'm gonna go watch the rest of the heat races, but from what my crew said, we were really, really fast. We were pulling away from Bergman and some of those guys. We just had some really good laps that we hit, so that's good going into the redraw. Well, what's new in my racing life than pulling the 8? I mean, there's only a 6 or an 8 left, but we still pulled the worst pill possible. It is what it is. Like I said in my interview, as long as we get to traffic, there shouldn't be too many worries. Track is narrow tonight. It's a lot tougher to pass. It's starting to get slick right here, but other than that, it's just grip, and it hasn't even widened out to the top side. They're firing off right now. I'm gonna get off the track just in case they roll the next day main out. But anyway, car's fast. We just gotta go forward. Just got done putting my last stack of tear-offs on. In total, I got right around 30. I am happy though, I just got the news. I watched James McFadden won night number 2 of the Knoxville 360 Nationals. I'm a huge James McFadden fan and it's cool to see that guy win. But we're ready to head out for our main event. We got some good guys ahead of us. Like I mentioned in the last clip, we gotta go forward, we gotta be fast, but it's also a hooked up track, so we gotta be careful because you're gonna come up on people very fast, and also the track is just hammered down. You're almost wide open probably the whole time. So, Carly, ready to go?
Yeah, I got the full force.
We got pulled pork sandwiches for dinner. I'm gonna eat after the A, but we're heading out next.
Devin Gordon looking for his first win here in Cottage on the outside of the hill. Now living in northeast Oklahoma, South Berkeley.
First night of our doubleheader here with the Summer Thunder Sprints is over, and we came home 10th. It was a frustrating race for sure. I felt like the whole time I was just pounding my head against the wall, trying to figure out how to go faster. But a track like tonight just was not good for someone like me. I'm very inexperienced on hooked up racetracks here. Up north, you know, unlike California, I mean, California of course has some big slick tracks too, but sometimes down there they're definitely used to hooked up. And up here in Oregon, Cottage Grove, we're so used to getting 2 lanes, bottom, top, slide jobs. Same with Skagit, and then Elma even gets pretty wide too. And tonight at Cottage Grove was not wide and slick at all. It was just hooked up around the bottom. The top came in later in the A-main event. And I don't mean this to bash on the racetrack at all. I'm just gonna tell you guys exactly how it is. Now, the track was just not very good. It was tough to pass on. It was definitely more on the dangerous side because when tracks are fast like that and fast pace, that's when wrecks occur. And when we had our bad pill draw, we just knew we were not in for a very good positioning. It was not like we were going to blow by the whole field 8th to 1st in a few corners. When a track's hooked up like that, it's just going to be very, very tough to pass unless you're in the right spot at the right time. And then it didn't help. 10 laps in, my brake pedal went super, super soft. It took 3 or 4 pumps to kind of get any brake out of it at all. Pretty much after a few pumps, I just had a little bit of pedal, and that's the only reason I stayed out there, was because I could stop a little. But pretty much, you know, when I go into the corner to hit the brakes, it would just go all the way to the floor. And I'm like, this is not good. And when a track's fast like that and has so much grip, without brakes, it makes it very, very tough. There were a few things I could have done differently just for future races, like wing placement and whatnot, that could have helped me. And overall, I should have just drove the car a little bit harder. But I knew with our positioning and whatnot, the reason this track just wasn't good is I'm inexperienced, and then also I'm just a little too conservative. Some of these guys just sling it in there wide open, which is more what you need to do when the track has a lot of grip. But myself, I was just being too conservative with my stuff, which isn't a bad thing, but I just was a lot more concerned about the car, and it wasn't like I was starting on the front row, so I'm like, there's probably not a lot of good that's going to come out of this. I should just ride around and finish the race, also not having very much of a brake pedal. So in the future, I definitely need to get better on tracks like this, but tonight was more of just a lot of curveballs happened in the feature, and I just needed to finish and make sure the car came in one piece. The one frustrating thing that did happen is, like, early in the race, I got passed, but right as the yellow came out, and we didn't even complete a whole lap, and they gave that guy the spot, the guy who just got past me before we completed a lap. But then when I did that later in the race with like 3 to go, I actually had got into 9th, and I passed a car, but then the yellow came out, and it was the complete opposite call. So that was kind of frustrating because it was just inconsistent. Like, almost the exact same situation occurred, and I was just on the other end of it, and I didn't get the spot. So instead of probably finishing 9th, we would have finished 10th, which is not that big of a deal. But in a different situation, I could have been running for 2nd and 3rd when it's a lot more important. So that was just a side note for the race. Glad the car came in one piece. We got to bleed the brakes tomorrow, do all of our maintenance, and we should be much, much better. Hopefully the track's in a lot better of a condition where we can race hard, wide, and slick. Remember that. Got to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Deuces.